Don't trust the persons who has broken faith once. Do not trust everything you see, even salt look like sugar. Do not trust anyone blindly. Most people you meet with you only for their own sake and interest. Do not trust anyone. Life is full of fake pupils. Do not trust anyone because pupils enjoy the game which they play with you. You had ever heard the story of frogs? As a group of frogs was traveling through the woods, two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frog crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, he told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. However, the two frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying and they proceeded to try and jump out. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit was still saying that they should just give up, that they would never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frogs said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deep. He thought they were encouraging him and the entire time. Pupils' words can have a big effect on others' life. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. It might just be the difference between life and death. There is no time like the present to start making changes. But I have found that the best time is to start by going about your day differently as soon as you wake up. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. One word of encouragement can be enough to spark some motivation to continue with the difficult changes. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. You are unique. You have different talents and abilities. You don't have to follow in the footsteps of others. And most important, you should always remind yourself that you don't have to do what everyone and have a responsibility to develop the talent you have been given. Just do whatever you want, whatever is in your mind. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Stay positive. Better days are on their way. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. Time is not the main thing. It's the only thing. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Do not sacrifice yourself too much, because if you sacrifice too much, there's nothing else you can give, and nobody will care of you. In ancient times, a king had a boulder placed on a roof. He then hid himself and watched it to see if anyone would move the boulder out of the way. Some of the king's wealthiest merchants and courtiers came by and simply walked around it. Many people loudly blamed the king for not keeping the road clear, but none of them did anything about getting the stone out of the way. A peasant then came along carrying a load of vegetables. Upon approaching the boulder, the peasant laid down his burden and tried to push the stone out of the road. After much pushing and straining, he finally succeeded. After the peasant went back to pick up his vegetables, he noticed a purse lying in the road where the boulder had been. The purse contained many gold coins and a note from the king explaining that the gold was for the person who removed the boulder from the roadway. Moral of the story: every obstacle we come across in life gives us an opportunity to improve our circumstances. And blessed and lazy complain. The other are creating opportunities through their kind hearts, generosity and willingness to get things done. If you are going to quit anything, quit being lazy, quit making excuses and quit waiting for the right time. Make an effort, not an excuse.